Welcome to today's story. When mentioning Titanic, people often immediately think of the most terrible maritime disaster in history, where more than 1,500 people lost their lives on the fateful night of April 15th, 1912. But did you know? Titanic is not just a ship that sank to the bottom of the ocean, but it is also a huge mystery containing stories that have never been solved. Today, I will take you into the world of mysterious stories, supernatural phenomena, ghosts and curses that many people believe still cling to the Titanic and what belongs to it. Be prepared, because this is not an easy story to listen to, and certainly you will not be able to forget what you are about to experience. Before we get to the ghosts, let's go back in time more than 100 years ago, when the Titanic was considered the pride of technology and engineering. With a length of 269 meters and a weight of more than 46,000 tons, the Titanic was dubbed the unsinkable ship. But as fate would have it, it sank on its maiden voyage when it hit an iceberg in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Survivors recounted that that night, screams, calls of each other's names, and music from the ship's band echoed in the dark space like a farewell song. But many people believe that the tragedy did not stop there. The souls who lost their lives on the Titanic seem to still be wandering around, and they left unforgettable marks. Soon after the disaster, survivors and crew members of rescue ships began to see strange phenomena. A captain named John Evans reported that on the first night he sailed through the area where the Titanic sank, he heard cries and screams coming from the water. Although he and his crew searched the area, they found no sign of survivors. But even stranger were the lights. Several crew members reported seeing strange lights, like will-o'-the-wisp lights, hovering over the water. One of them swore he saw the silhouette of a woman in a white dress, standing on the water, looking at their ship with a blank gaze. After the disaster, some Titanic artifacts were recovered from the ocean floor. These items quickly became the focus of strange stories. A diamond ring belonging to a passenger named Margaret Brown, who survived, was displayed in a museum and became the subject of many rumors. Museum staff reported that they often heard footsteps walking back and forth at night. Some visitors even claimed that they saw a woman's shadow standing next to the ring, staring at them. When the Titanic was discovered in 1985, divers and explorers began to face terrifying experiences. One diver said he felt as if someone was pulling his leg as he approached the wreck. At first, he thought it was someone from his team, but when he turned around, there was no one there. The cold feeling, as if someone was watching, haunted him every time he worked at the bottom of the ocean. One of the most chilling stories comes from a local fisherman who lived near the Titanic's sinking. He said that one quiet night, as he was casting his net, he heard voices. At first, he thought it was the wind, but the voices grew clearer, as if hundreds of people were whispering in the water. When he pulled up his net, he was horrified to find that his nets were not filled with fish, but with old pieces of cloth, like coats from the previous century. And the scariest thing, one of the pieces still had dried blood on it. He cast his net immediately and returned to shore, but the feeling of being watched haunted him all night. Several Titanic survivors have also reported supernatural experiences after the disaster. One woman, who had been a first-class passenger, said she often dreamed of standing on the deck of the ship, seeing the faces of the dead. She said that once, while in her hotel room, she heard a knock on the door. When she opened the door, there was no one there, but a wet handkerchief was placed on the threshold, with a strong smell of sea salt. The woman believed that the souls had returned to find the peace they could not have. In recent years, Titanic exhibits around the world have also witnessed strange phenomena. At one exhibit in Las Vegas, night guards reported hearing footsteps on the wooden floors of the ship's deck model. One time, a security camera captured a man in an Edwardian-style suit and fedora walking slowly down the hallway before disappearing into thin air. Tellingly, staff there insisted that they did not hire actors or do any special effects at night. Another story comes from a group of divers working in the 1990s when the Titanic wreck became an important archaeological site. A diver named Mark said that as he entered an area of the ship, he heard the sound of a baby crying. Mark said that the sound was so clear that he turned around to look for his crew, but no one was there. When he shone a light into the room, he saw a shadow flash out of the corner of his eye, but when he checked, the room was completely empty. Many people who have worked with artifacts from the Titanic have also shared that they have strange and recurring dreams. One archaeologist said that, for many nights in a row, he dreamed that he was standing on the ship, but the ship never sank. In the dream, the passengers looked at him as if wanting to say something, but could not speak. He felt an indescribable pain in their eyes. Then he began to hear whispers in his own office, where he stored artifacts from the Titanic. Titanic, more than a disaster, is a symbol of dreams and tragedy, of human ambition and the brutal power of nature. But what keeps Titanic alive in our imaginations is not just the story of the sinking, but the supernatural mysteries that have and continue to haunt it. Are those souls still lurking, trying to find peace? Or are we just dealing with mind tricks as our collective obsession makes us believe in what we cannot see? The answer, perhaps, will forever lie deep at the bottom of the ocean. But one thing is certain: Titanic was never just a ship.